So with the recent rally over this past weekend on cryptocurrencies, does this mean that we've hit a bottom finally?
So Bitcoin has bounced back. We believe Bitcoin, looking at the technicals, has reached a bottom.
I mean, we just sold off quite a bit from our highs at 69,000. Do you guys forget? I mean, maybe we did hit a bottom, right? We've got senators buying in. We've got the Super Bowl coming up. Tons of speculation. This could be the time to get in and make our 100% as we go back to 100,000, maybe even 200,000 in 2022. In today's video, I'll go over why I think we sold off, why I think we hit a temporary bottom, why I think the Super Bowl has turned into the Super Bull for Bitcoin, and what is Bitcoin? And is it really just speculation? But before we get into the topic, please hit the like button. It does help my channel out, helps the algorithm get this news out to more people who could be interested and who could be affected by the Bitcoin cryptocurrency rally that's been taking place this week. Okay, first, so why did we sell off? Well, for Bitcoin and most cryptocurrencies, they were thought of as kind of an inflation hedge. So of course, if inflation is going up, let's buy Bitcoin. But in actuality, when you look at the performance metrics and a lot of the technical analysis, Bitcoin has performed more like equity, more like particularly growth stocks. So in that case, as we look here, as volatility goes up, Bitcoin has typically been going down. So as most investors have taken a risk-off mentality in the beginning of 2022, Bitcoin has thus followed suit, right along with its stock and equity friends. So that's why I think anyway that Bitcoin has sold off. It's nothing to do with fundamentals or legislation or anything in politics. It's just basically risk on trader mentality that, well, the stock market had in the past month. Next, why have we rallied? So why over the course of the weekend have we been up over 15% just from Friday to Monday morning? And I believe it's because of a technical bottom. So there's been a lot of buying pressure at the 35,000 to 40,000 level. We've been kind of teetering in that for, I'd say, the past couple weeks. And with with the 40,000 mark gaining some support, we have thus lifted off. And I believe now, as the recording of this video, we're about 42,000 on Bitcoin. And thus, all the other cryptocurrencies have followed suit, as Bitcoin is kind of like their leader. And as Bitcoin gets more support, all of the cryptocurrencies pretty much just move 5 to 1 on Bitcoin's movements, as a lot of the meme coins are up, 20, 30, 40% just over this weekend move in Bitcoin. To add to this wonderful narrative, now that we've got the technical analysis part out of the way, many people believe that Bitcoin could hit $100,000 in 2022. Many people, including those at such prominent firms such as Goldman Sachs here, estimates that Bitcoin will be $100,000 by the end of 2022, or it could hit anytime in 2022. Also, by Coinbase.com, they published an article this morning that said Bitcoin could hit $200,000 in 2022. So does this make more narrative speculation or narrative fuel to push Bitcoin up even higher, as people now are starting to look at its wonderful weekend?
And based on the market interest, we think Bitcoin could push 45K and slowly rise to touch 50K.
In addition to this, Bitcoin has seen huge swings over the past 10 years, going from 10,000 back down to 2,000, then up to 50, back down to 25. So this is normal, and people now have gotten into the swing of things, so to speak, and are trying to capitalize on the next up move. Before we get into my kind of thoughts on how and what is influencing the market currently, I just want to preface this by saying that Bitcoin in itself is really not worth anything. Bitcoin takes about 20 minutes just to make a single transaction, that if you wanted to do it on the blockchain. If you're trading this speculated in the futures market, or if you're buying this like on Crypto.com or Coinbase or BlockFi or Webull, many of them have zero to no trading fees. It's super cheap to just trade this thing, but you're not really operating on the blockchain. You're using it as more of a speculative asset. If you break down to what Bitcoin is and the technology behind most of the cryptocurrencies, it does take a long time to actually have a transaction process. In addition to that, if people stop accepting Bitcoin, meaning if no one wants any more of it, the value will go down to zero as it is worth nothing by itself. So what does that mean? Well, it means that Bitcoin is based on the belief that this cryptocurrency called Bitcoin will be worth $100,000 or $200,000 sometime this year. And that's basically what the narrative said. And many of you might think, wow, that sounds like a scam to me. But historically speaking, things that have, or assets that have performed well are things like art, right? Art has a subjective value that becomes a financial value based on whoever wants to buy it. And in this market, there's enough people who believe out there that Bitcoin is worth whatever it's trading at today to make it liquid enough, meaning that there's enough buyers and sellers of this asset at this price to hold this price level. Now on to these speculative assets. I always think in my head, so if cryptocurrency is a currency, right? Regardless of how well it transfers and its timing and its ecological, economical, environmental problems, it's still a currency. And we trade currencies, right? We trade yen, we trade the euro, we trade the Aussie dollar, trade all kinds of currencies. In addition to that, we also trade gold. So which one is cryptocurrency like? Is it more like a currency or is it more like gold? And unfortunately, I don't really know. All I do know though is that if gold can trade $1,800 an ounce and you can trade it without actually owning any gold at any point of time, then why can't you trade Bitcoin? And that is the primary thesis, I guess, on why I believe that Bitcoin will remain in play as an asset for the foreseeable future. There's too much adoption. There's too many people, too many exchanges, too many financial firms invested in Bitcoin itself for it to have almost no value. With that said, it still literally has no value. Let's remember all of that. Bitcoin is basically a belief, and all the cryptocurrency and tokens are basically a belief system based on whatever it is that people are evaluating in their own minds. Let's talk about why I think Bitcoin will have some volatility and some up price movement in the near future, or at least in the immediate future, meaning now until the Super Bowl. And the first reason is that the Staples Center, while that's not where the Super Bowl is going to take place, was purchased, the naming rights anyway, was purchased by Crypto.com for $700 million. Over 20 years now, that's new stadium, or that's the Staples Stadium, is going to be called Crypto.com. It's a pretty big investment. Number two, along the lines of the Super Bowl, the Super Bowl is taking place in the SoFi Stadium. Now, SoFi has cryptocurrencies on its platform. You can buy and sell cryptocurrencies just like you could on Crypto.com and other brokerage platforms. So you can be almost certain that with the over $160 million spent on crypto-based advertisements during the Super Bowl, SoFi will be doing all it can to promote its brokerage and promoting cryptocurrency. One thing that cryptocurrency has been in the past is it's just been a gamble. And if you know anything about the Super Bowl, people who watch that, a lot of them do like to gamble a little bit. So it could be a way to capture some of the more gambler type of mentality folks who have not yet gone into the venturing of financial products in speculation, can now, or at least will have a good reason to, look further into these cryptocurrency type things as a tool for speculation. In addition to senators buying Bitcoin, hedge funds buying Bitcoin, celebrities have also been endorsing Bitcoin. I'm sure many of you have seen, I looked on YouTube, 60 million views on Fortune favors the brave. Matt Damon said that in the Crypto.com commercial. There is a ton of crypto advertising. Just on my Twitter feed, I have tons of crypto advertising. I have tons of crypto advertising on my Instagram feed, on my Facebook feed, right? It could be that I'm very much researching these things, but still yet, people are spending money for me to just look at these different crypto ads. Also, with the Super Bowl and the $160 million being spent on crypto advertising during the Super Bowl, this is a huge market. Many, many more people could be entering this market, and that is the bet that these crypto exchanges, people who are paying for these ads, are taking out. Now, Imagine this. Super Bowl Sunday comes, all these ads come.
Fortune.
Someone
favors
during this
the brave.
commercial break looks at the price of Bitcoin. Price of Bitcoin dropped 20% from Monday. No one's going to invest in cryptocurrency, right? Or maybe those who think that it reached the bottom again will. But for the most part, that's not going to cause that much, of a I better get on this FOMO atmosphere. But what will is if someone watching the Super Bowl takes out their phone, looks on Crypto.com and sees that the price of Bitcoin went up 30% in 1 week. I ain't gonna miss this train. They're gonna open an account, they're gonna buy cryptocurrency. That's gonna feed the fee collecting business model of Crypto.com, of all the cryptocurrency exchanges out there. I mean, they make money when we make trades. And that is why I think the next week at least, Bitcoin will remain strong. And I'm pretty sure the senators who bought Bitcoin and all the senators who probably have bought Bitcoin over the past 2 weeks are betting on. There is one celebrity though, and I like this guy because I watched Gotham, the first couple seasons of Gotham, Ben McKenzie, and he is being coined as the crypto critic. He's actually kind of co-authoring a book about how he believes that cryptocurrency is the #1 scam, even perhaps surpassing Bernie Madoff. But I guess I want to kind of find out your thoughts on it. Do you think that cryptocurrency is one huge Ponzi scheme, one huge pyramid scheme? Or do you want to be one of the fortunate brave who holds onto this thing as it hits 200,000 this year, $1 million in 2030, and potentially $1 billion in 2050? Who knows? For me, I have some Bitcoin, I'll be honest. I have Bitcoin, I have Ethereum, I have Uniswap, I have USDC stablecoins. I invest in these things primarily for educational purposes. I want to be able to track these things and kind of learn from them and how they move with my stock portfolio, how they move with the bonds, how they move with other financial tools. And really for me, the only way that I can be, I guess, engaged in this kind of a market is to be monetarily invested. Now, many of you, I would say, is far better off waiting on the sidelines to see exactly what happens. Maybe even completely forget this video exists and do what you would have done anyway. I'm just a YouTuber guy who has some money invested in Bitcoin and has a finance degree. But heck, I could be wrong, and that's the beauty of the world of finance. If I'm wrong, you can fade me, meaning you can do the exact opposite of what I'm telling you, and you can make your millions that way. All right, so thank you for watching this whole video. If you want to get your 2 free stocks from Weibo, if you don't have an account yet, you can use the link in my description below and get 2 free stocks from Weibo. You can trade crypto there if you want as well. And of course, BlockFi.com. If you use my referral link, you will get up to $250 worth of free Bitcoin by opening an account there and funding it with some money. Now, I hope you guys have a great rest of the day. Enjoy the Super Bowl. I probably won't be watching it, but go whoever's playing. I'll see you in the next video.